Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. So once again, the portal is alight with the lovely blue hue, meaning it is once again time to pull some shards, specifically ancient shards for 2x ancients. Funnily enough, I have been pulling a fair amount of ancient shards in the recent weeks, but this is probably the last big push for the next month or so. Probably going to wait until next 2x ancients before we pull again, unless something ridiculously crazy happens today. So, as always, we are not pulling without a purpose. There is no fusion going on. That will be starting on Independence Day for those of us in the US on July 4th. But there is a champion chase tournament and there is a pretty standard reward spread as far as the milestones are concerned. So our target, as always, is going to be the 3,000 points here for the first Legendary Tome. We're not going to worry about going out to 5,500 because, like I said, I've been pulling a fair amount of Ancients, and so pretty stockpiled on the rares for food, so I don't really need to push that hard. There's also no special event going on right now. I did wait until Sunday here, the end of the 10x. Not that the champion was bad per se, but a lot of what he offered in his kit I already have amongst other champions that I currently use, so he didn't seem that useful to me. And on top of that, of course, it is only a 10x, which means there's only like a 5.5 to 6% chance that even if I had gotten a legendary, it would be the 10x champion. So the odds aren't that great. So honestly, it doesn't really matter. And lastly, there's more champions that I would want instead. So you can see here that we're at 800 and some change, and that's partially because there is a champion training tournament going on right now. So I have been using mystery shards in order to generate food to level up in the campaign. But we did also get the benefit of one relic keeper summon. I did have a couple of those rares ready to go, so that was worth 250 points. And then we did also get our Prism summon from the Ice Golem tournament, and that gave me a Duck the Pierce, so another epic. So 500 points from free summons, and then 300 points and some change from mystery shards and running the campaign. Popping over to the portal, let's check on the overall shard count on the account. We have 649 on the Ancients, which of course we will be diving into today, 200 on the Voids, 8 on the Primals, and then a whopping 55 on the Sacreds. In terms of Mercy, those of you who watched the recent POGO event video will know that we are, of course, one shard off of Mercy, meaning there's a fairly low chance that we get a legendary, but nonetheless it is 2x ancient, so anything can happen, but we're not expecting much focusing on this row here. We're fresh off of a legendary because we pulled during the POGO event. So if we do manage to get a legendary, my top 3 are Valkyrie, a Poison Exploder, and or Molly Tankard. And of course this session also does have the boosted rates for epics, so we are still on the lookout for Lady Mikage epics, a couple of them, and then any and all dupes for epic empowerment. Alright, so let's get into the pulls. We have just enough space. I'm assuming the average return of about 60 ancients to get the 3,000 points, and that's why we made exactly 60 spots. We have the cash, and hopefully we get some pretty decent luck. In this case, we've gotten a fair amount of legendaries lately, so I'm mainly looking for good epic rates from our 6 or less 10 pop. So let's get cracking here. First 10 pop, here we go. Let's see, bunch. Oh, rares is not how you want to start on a 2x. That is unfortunate. That 60 spaces is not looking so hot all of a sudden, but we'll see. Ideally, you get about 1 to 2 epics per 10 pop, and that's kind of the return you would want to see. Okay, salvaged a little bit, not by much. We have a Taurus, good for setting up Poison Exploders, although those have those compositions have kind of fallen out of the meta. So tracking our points here, we started off around 850. Those two summons are about 400-ish, 450, I guess. So we're sitting a little bit over 1,000 points right now. Another 340. Not gonna be okay. Maybe we will have to make some more space here. Torture Helm, not really much to say about him, but he does have an annoying passive when he's an enemy because he can revive himself. Honestly, he does hit very, very hard, like as an enemy wave, enemy combatant. So that is quite annoying. There we go. There are the epics. All right, 3, 4. Okay. 5? No. Okay. 4 epics. That made up for the first sets, I think. So we got a couple things. Dude and the Runic, pretty good in the Cursed City, but also pretty decent as a taunt champion. And you can also cleanse with the A1s, pretty strong there. Not much to say about Kalia or Chani, but Tanix Hate Flower can be kind of a clutch healer in certain situations, mainly in restrictive content, maybe faction wars if you're desperate. But I think you're better off. I think she's a demon spawn, right? So I think you're better off with like a Dur, the Hunger, or something like that. So next 10 pop here. Hopefully we continue the good luck, and we do not. We are back to basics here. Okay, Yaga the Insatiable, I guess, what does Ash call him? The Trap Champion. You get him after like 14 days and he's practically useless in the game. I think that's probably the first duplicate of him I've ever pulled because he's not been a faction guardian. So I've been lucky enough or unlucky enough, I don't know, however you want to think about it, but I've yet to get a duplicate of Yaga. And are we ending on rares? Okay, I'm gonna have to check on the tournament here and see if we actually got to 3,000. I don't think so. I know we got 1,000 from one of the pops. I wasn't really tracking the math that well, unfortunately, but we should be somewhere around 2,000 and something. Okay, so we're back in the champion chase, and I definitely lied. We did pass the 3,000 points just barely with the last set of pulls there. So 3,100 on the points, meaning that we have the legendary tome at 3,000 points, and we can just stop there and call it for the day. So no legendaries, but pretty decent return on the epics. I think we got a resurgence on the epic rates there. It was looking pretty abysmal there at the start and kind of near the end, but that middle section actually did come in clutch in terms of points. Should have been tracking it a bit better. I think the last set of 10 rares. Maybe we could have saved, I guess, because that was 100 points. We could have saved 10 ancient shards, but water under the bridge. All right, so that is the end of today's shard pull session. Nothing really eventful happened, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometime. And this is another perfect example of us content creators not always being lucky, you guys. So you can take your tinfoil hats off for now. Now, for anyone curious, yes, I do already have a copy of Lady Mikage. I did get her from a remnant summon, very, very lucky. But I do still intend to fuse a copy of Cure the Watcher because I do have Cure the Watcher already on my account and ready to go. But I don't want to sacrifice the legendary that I actually have, because then the fusion would go away and wouldn't be able to maintain a copy of her if I happen to need her in some future content. So we are going to wait until we get the rest of the couple of epics here just to fuse that copy that I'll keep and save for future use if need be. But I did already fuse Tatsu and she's ready to go as well. So that is the situation relative to Mikage, and that is why we're still pursuing some of her epics. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. We're going to keep this one short and sweet. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys were able to pull from your shards if you were pulling for this 2x on Ancients. And as always, if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to hit that like button down below and feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good one.